Happy Saturday night, everybody. We are live on social right now, chatting about the day today, what to expect for tomorrow as we wrap up the weekend. We're in a new month now, so that means new numbers and new weather patterns as we progress into the next couple months of spring. So things are changing in the forecast, and as a matter of fact, today was nice. We had some sunshine, but the clouds came moving in, and even a few communities out to our south and west near Del Rio, towards the south near George West and Beeville, did pick up on a few showers, but those have since kind of fallen apart. Not a lot of support for these showers and storms out there right now. And it's mostly quiet in San Antonio and mostly cloudy. So before we get to that, let's chat about what to expect. And since it's a new month, temperatures are climbing, and they have been for a while now. And our average high this time of year is 78. We were above that today. And by the end of the month, April 30th, that's when we'll be near about 83 for average temperatures. In the mornings, lower 60s. So bottom line, this month is a transition month in spring, as overnight lows and afternoon highs continue to trend upwards into the 80s in the afternoons and the 60s in the mornings as well. Take a look at the average rainfall at the bottom left of that screen. You'll see it's 2.42 for San Antonio. Now, again, that's the average. Now, last month we were half below. Our typical March usually produces up to 2.5 inches of rain. We were near 1.2 in San Antonio. Now, this month, as we progress through, should be on the average side around 2.4. We'll see if we make it there. Hottest April temperature was 101 back in 1980, I believe. We'll have to go through that in just a second. Coldest temperature in San Antonio in recorded history was 31. So this is really, again, a month that starts to really warm up. As a matter of fact, today was warm, 87. Morning lows at 54. Average is 78, as you saw in the last graphic, and then this one as well, showing you kind of similar numbers. 55 is the average morning low around April 1st. But again, yeah, really warm. I want to make sure my audio is working okay. Perfect. Okay, and again, if you have any questions, guys, if you're traveling, if you're going to Houston for the Final Four tomorrow, or tonight, I mean, both games are tonight, but for Monday, I guess, for the final, let me know. I mean, we're doing the forecast, but we can always dive into what to expect for Houston. As a matter of fact, by next week, looks like they're going to get a lot of rain. We will too, but we'll dive into the details in just a bit. But if you're flying out to maybe the Northeast or the West Coast, feel free to comment down below, and we'll be talking about the forecast and what to expect. Okay, so again, today was 87. Right now, if you're heading out this evening, a little different from the airport to Stinson on the south side. From 77 to 82, winds are light, 5 to 10 miles an hour. And here's the radar. Now, if you look, these are the last 3 hours. We saw a few showers out near Cuero, Victoria, near Karnes City. I'll zoom in. That was earlier this evening, likely around the 5 and 6 p.m. hour. But those really didn't advance far forward, right? I mean, they've pretty much fizzled out with the lack of daytime heating as temperatures cool down from 87 this afternoon. We're not going to see a lot of fuel in the tank for showers or storms. With that being said, this evening you may encounter a sprinkle, maybe a drizzle. I'll stop the clock right there. And this is, let me actually turn on one of our other radars, because that's the NOWRAD radar, and we'll put on sweeping. So, and keep in mind, this is a fun fact. A cool thing about radar, it can detect other things in the air. Now, for example, in the northeast side of San Antonio are the caverns, the Natural Bridge Caverns, and the Bracken Ridge Caves, which, by the way, earlier this evening at about 7:55, watch this bloom. This is not a shower. This is not a thunderstorm. This is a bat cave, and bats are actually flying out, and they do this time of year, spring, summertime. You'll see this a lot on radar. It'll be clear, it'll be quiet, and then you'll just see this pop up on radar. It's the bats emerging out of the cave, and it's a radar signature. The radar detects the bats flying into the sky, and it sends it back to the radar as a signature, and it translates and comes up on the radar like this. It looks like a thunderstorm, but it's not. It's the bats flying out of the cave west of I-35, between there and 281, Timberwood Park, Garden Ridge, Bracken Ridge, west of the 35 corridor, west of Schertz. So again, there's no rain out there. There may be a sprinkle southeast of Bexar County, but a lot of this we're seeing on radar right now at this hour which by the way is 8:51. It's mostly clutter, clouds, and most importantly, the bats starting to fly out and emerge out of their cave. So it's a cool thing that radar can detect this time of year, spring, summertime. All right, temperature-wise, we're at 80 at Hondo, 72 at Rock Springs, 70 in Columbus, 87 at Cotulla, 82 in Eagle Pass, and that's how things stay for tonight. Very mild because of increasing humidity. Matter of fact, by tomorrow morning, those southeast winds will likely move in some patchy fog. So if you're getting out early tomorrow morning, maybe leave a little extra early. Winds will not be terribly breezy, 5 to 10, and maybe a nice breeze tomorrow afternoon, likely with daytime heating. That'll help bring in the humidity a little bit more, and that surface heating will create a gradient, and that'll help produce a breezy, gusty wind tomorrow afternoon. 20 to 25 mile an hour gusts. Now that's the occasional gust. Most likely tomorrow afternoon, a light breeze all day long, and then occasional gusts could get upwards of 25, maybe 30 miles an hour. Now, tomorrow's forecast will start off gloomy and gray, kind of like the last couple, but this morning was great, right? It was mostly clear, it was sunny, it felt nice, it was very mild. Now the moisture is really starting to move in, which is why tomorrow morning we'll be in the 60s, it'll be muggy, a little bit of fog here and there, maybe a patchy area of drizzle. And then by tomorrow, likely around 4 and 5 p.m., we'll reach 89. That's what we're forecasting for, but there's going to be a lot of spots around San Antonio tomorrow that reach the lower 90s. As a matter of fact, I'll stop the clock right here. This is tomorrow at about 5 p.m. Look at this. It says 92 in San Antonio for the high resolution latest forecast guidance model. Will it hit 92? Maybe. But big takeaway, tomorrow morning clouds clearing out to sunshine, highs rebounding fast. Depending on when the cloud deck clears will dictate how fast temperatures respond. So tomorrow I'm forecasting about 89, 90, but there could be a chance that some areas around the metro may reach around 91 to 92. That's going to be hot. Even hotter down to the west. 96 tomorrow. Carrizo Springs, 96 at Cotulla, 100, maybe a triple-digit reading between Eagle Pass, Del Rio, Carrizo Springs, and even near Laredo. So tomorrow, morning clouds, some morning fog, and that'll clear out to some sunshine, highs upper 80s, lower 90s. It's going to be a hot and sunny way to wrap up the weekend, but yeah, it's going to be pretty hot, especially for spring standards, right? And then by late tomorrow night into Monday, more clouds move in and this heating trend continues. As a matter of fact, it looks like it'll be hotter on Monday. About 94 is what we're forecasting, and then 95 to 96 on Tuesday. Now that's important because if you look at the very bottom part of that forecast temperature graphic, it has the record. So for example, Monday's daily record was set back in 1989 at 97 degrees. And then Tuesday's daily record was set back in 1893, a whole different century, at 93 degrees. So I don't think we'll break the record on Monday. I need to look at the record for tomorrow because we may reach 91 and 92, and we'll get close to that. But anyway, on Tuesday, it looks like we'll be challenging some records. San Antonio's record, 1893 of 93 degrees. We're forecasting 95, meaning we could break a record here in San Antonio in the early part of April. We will see what happens. We'll see what happens. But again, big takeaway, tomorrow, morning clouds, some drizzle, some fog, and then after lunchtime, things should clear out to sunshine. Highs near 90 tomorrow, near 94 on Monday, and 95 on Tuesday. Average this time of year is 78. It's going to be extremely hot. Now, speaking of this ridge of high pressure that's going to continue to crank in the heat, stays with us through Tuesday. It doesn't break down until Tuesday night and Wednesday morning, where this trough swings across the U.S., primarily stays farther north, but what that will do is swing a cold front in, a very weak front, and that'll reinforce some cooler air. Wednesday, highs will be back in the 70s, and then same thing for Thursday and Friday, and primarily into the weekend, where things could get a little dicey. Meaning, right here, as that front seeks into the Gulf of Mexico, it pushes through San Antonio Wednesday morning, drops the highs from the 90s to the 70s. Good news there. Creates more cloud cover, which will keep temperatures down into the 70s. But by Thursday and Friday, that same front actually pushes back as a stationary front or a warm front. And as it stalls near the Gulf and near Corpus Christi, near Houston, that's going to create an interesting setup. Now, it looks like starting on Thursday, a lot of the heavier storms will be probably between Brownsville, Corpus Christi, Matagorda Bay, Galveston, coastal counties. Late next week, Wednesday night, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, could see a few heavy downpours, even potentially a flooding threat. The coastal areas, but San Antonio, kind of on the outer edge of this, but as that front kind of moves farther north, that could help generate some pretty good rain. So we'll actually time it out for you. So here's Wednesday morning, and then here's Wednesday night. Clouds move in. It's going to be in cloudy Wednesday, but mostly dry. Rain primarily near Corpus Christi and the coast. And then Thursday morning rolls around. That front retreats farther north back towards San Antonio. And what that could do is generate some showers, some even embedded storms, and potentially how long this front sinks around, how slow it moves, and even how long it stays. As long as it's around, it's going to produce at least clouds and even some scattered rain. So it looks like Thursday, Friday, and even Saturday, depending on how fast this front moves in, could mean additional chances for rain. And it's important because as we move into Saturday and Sunday, plans obviously for Easter weekend, but this forecast model says next Sunday could be mostly cloudy and some scattered rain around for next Sunday for Easter. So something to keep in mind. But we're still 7 to 8 days out. A lot can change by then. But we're thinking mostly on Thursday and Friday to see scattered rain and a few thunderstorms moving into San Antonio. So that's the big takeaway in the forecast. And this is the rainfall outlook. So obviously as that front and we get more data in, that could change, this could change. But as of Saturday night, it looks like the heaviest rain will be out near Houston, I-45, East Texas, or San Antonio could potentially, which would be good because we do need rain, not so much good on the timing in the Easter Saturday and Sunday. But looks like for San Antonio, on the average amount from 1 to 2 inches of rain. Western counties less, and then eastern counties a lot more, near 3 to 4 inches of rain, the closer you are to Houston, East Texas, and away from San Antonio. So here's the 7-day forecast. You'll see right here as I take this off. Perfect. And then right there. So tomorrow, enjoy it. It'll be dry, maybe a sprinkle in the morning and some patchy fog. It'll be breezy towards the afternoon. Winds around 15 to 20 miles an hour, 89. And then here comes the temperature climb. 94 on Monday, 95 on Tuesday. Now, if we see any rain, it'll be late Tuesday and early Wednesday as that front, the first push of the cool air moves in. And that'll be a pretty good, decent temperature swing from 95 to 78. And then notice by Thursday and Friday, that's when we're kind of pinpointing. And of course, we'll iron out the details as we get more of the forecast data in. For some scattered showers, maybe a few thunderstorms Thursday into Friday. And depending, again, on how that front moves back into San Antonio, if it does it fast, if it's slower in movement, if it stalls out near Corpus Christi, if it stalls out near us, that'll mean additional chances for rain and a wet pattern moving into Easter Sunday. So we'll see how that plays out. We're still, again, 7 to 8 days out from Easter Sunday. So, of course, we'll tune the forecast as we get more data in the next couple of days. But, again, heating through Tuesday, cooling through next week, more clouds and more rain, especially on Thursday and Friday.